All right, so this is my son Easton's Cummins right here. It's a 98.5 truck, okay? So I need some Cummins guys' help with this. So it's a 98.5. He's 16. We're not very familiar with diesels, and this truck clearly shows it. Now, we've had this truck for a while. This used to be my truck, got rid of it, switched hands. Easton found it with a blown motor, or my brother found it with a blown motor. Easton traded his 450 four-wheeler for it. So we buy a motor. And we switched, made sure all the sensors were the same and everything else. Once we got the motor home and everything else, and we put the engine harness on this motor. And at that time, I noticed that Easton's motor, this truck's 98.5, so it's a first half year for 24 valve. Easton's motor has a crank sensor and a cam sensor. The new motor had a block off plate where the cam sensor or where the crank sensor goes. Didn't think much of it. Didn't even bother checking to see if it had a wheel on the crank or anything to pick up crank signal, yada, yada, yada. My mistake. So Easton went ahead, bought a brand new clutch, injection pump, VP pump, because that's what initially failed on the other motor, and then it just went downhill from there. The keyway came out, or the nut come loose on the injection pump or whatever. I don't know what happened to the other motor. But anyway, so we put an injection pump on this thing, put a fast lift pump on this thing. He bought 2 brand new batteries. He bought, of course, new oil and all that stuff, fluids, and also bought a brand new clutch. Easton's extremely deep in this truck. We got it all together. It's completely back together. However, the tack don't move. So when I told you guys that it had a block off plate on the block, most of you guys that know Cummins were like, yep, he got no 2000 and up motor, where the cam and crank sensor are tied together. They don't have a crank sensor in the back of the block like the early model 24 valves. So my question is to you, do any of you guys know a way for us to fix this truck without having to yank the motor and the motor back out of this truck? We still have his old motor. The crank keyway sheared, it jumped time and bent the valves. So I can yank that good head off of that motor, put on this motor, and then put this motor back in there after I fix the keyway on the crank. But that's a lot of work. Is there anything else I can do? Thanks, guys.